Hey, and welcome back to Pamela's Tarot Tales. And I hope everybody's enjoying hashtag 31 Days of Tarot 2020. And it's amazing to see everybody's videos. I'm trying to catch up. You guys are awesome for producing such great content. Today I'm going to do day 10, which is tarot decks that are kind of long lost in your collection that you're looking forward to reconnecting with. And I am changing this prompt for myself because I have a lot of decks that I feel like I really need to reconnect with that I haven't worked with in a long time. And so what I've decided to do is for this year, I am doing like a mini depth year, but a tarot specific depth year. Excuse me. And I have quite a few decks, and like I said, some old, some new, but I really want to connect with certain decks this year, and I want to go really deep into those. So I'm not going to show you decks that are long lost in my collection. I'm going to show you some newer decks that I'm looking forward to working with. The first one that I am using for the month of January is the Toni Busque Tarot. I think you can see that. Gosh, his colors don't show up as well. Because they're really vibrant and beautiful, amazing, bright colors. But it's a fun, quirky deck. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And I really struggle with working with Rider-Waite-Smith, the traditional imagery. And so I've been searching for a clone that I can actually enjoy and like and use. And this one has come forward. It was a gift from a dear friend. And I really am excited about working with it. I've decided that it feels like it's really good for kind of everyday questions that I wouldn't normally ask, or I wouldn't normally ask the tarot, but I feel like clients would. And so I'm looking at getting to know this deck in a way that can be a little bit more practical. I don't tend to read that way on a whole, but I think it's important for me to expand my skill sets and work within that realm. And so what I've done is I've downloaded this challenge from Instagram called hashtag Cards on the Table Challenge. And this is put forth by Lego Bird on Instagram. And there are questions, like I said, that I would normally rephrase or I just wouldn't ask, but I really want to get better at that, and I'm contemplating going on and working some events and possibly the lines, and I feel like these questions would help, and I think it would be a good, fun way to get to know this deck. And so you can check that on Instagram. You can check out my page. It's Pamela's Insight. And again, that is the Toni Busque Tarot. And I am excited to work with this. I don't know how much I'll work with that throughout the year, but I'm definitely working with it for the whole month of January. But I plan to work on it throughout the year. I like the artwork. I think it's funny. It cracks me up. Got a funny voice, and I love their faces, and I'm excited to see how that comes forward. So the next deck that I plan on working with, I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk about Muse, but this deck I am using right now for my dailies. I create poems from my dailies, and I pull 2 cards, and then I create a short poem. And I post that on my Instagram and my Facebook and everything. And this deck is just so good, and it's good for every kind of reading. But it's a deck that is new to me, and I feel like I'm not done working with it, and I don't want it to go into that point where that deck will disappear and just become another box in my collection. This is one of the decks that I feel like could be a deck that I could work with forever. And I mean, all the decks I think we feel like we want them to be, but this deck I feel like I want to get to know it. I want to know it inside and out. I want to continue to see how it evolves and shows itself and teaches me and gets me thinking creatively and answers different questions in different ways. And the artwork is just so amazing for me to be able to read it in that way, as well as the tarot system itself. So I think my goal with that, with the depth here on that one, is for that to be used a lot. Use it for readings, use it for my daily practice, use it for anything and everything, and just get to know it super, super well. I don't feel like I have a deck that I know kind of inside and out, and I think that one's going to be a good one for me to do that. The next one, so I'm working with that in January as well. The next one, and I'll be working with that one for sure all year long, is, let's see if I can show you, Wild Messengers, Alchemical Tarot. This deck is crazy good. It's just, it's so profound and it's so deep and there's so many layers, and the book, oh my gosh, the book is just, there's the backs, see them, but they are, oh, it's just so profound and really truly incredible. It's such a good, well thought out, just beautiful high vibe deck. And I feel like, while I'm sure I could just kind of throw down some cards and read it, I really want to study it with the book, because the book has so much information and so much depth. And what better timing than a depth year to really dive in deep with this? And I feel like this might be kind of a slower burn, a deck that may take me a longer to get to know and to be able to use as a fluently, but I feel like it's worth it. And it's just gorgeous. It's so, so gorgeous. And so I've started working with this in I did my Will of the Year, I guess you call it Will of the Year, my year ahead spread, and I pulled the Muse and this deck for each month, and I'm writing poems for each month based on those two cards, and then what I'm going to do is, each month go through and read those energies again and kind of see if I can reflect on how it plays out, and then every week pull a card for the week and then see how it works in that energy of the week and how I can relate to it better. And I'm posting those as well. So anyway, super excited about that. The another one that I'm going to be working with, I think I've decided my deck that I'm really going to explore for February is Serpentfire. This is the 6th edition, the bordered edition. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I'm excited to work with it. I love these borders. I traded for this deck recently. I just got it in December, so haven't really worked with it much, but I know that there is a borderless edition that's available, and it's beautiful, but I felt like it was just too airy. It was so ungrounded for me, and I was floating away every time I looked at it. And I'm a triple air sign, so I float away enough as it is, and I needed something grounding, but I still liked the energy and the look of the deck. But I loved these textured borders, and so it became available on trade, as a swap, and I swapped for it, and I'm so glad I did. I felt like it was just supposed to be, and so I'm supposed to work with this deck, and I think that's amazing. I feel like the deck that I traded it with, which was Holly Simple Tarot, and I hadn't really worked with it much, but just struggled with wanting to pull from that and read that, and I've discovered that decks that are kind of stripped back and simplified, while aesthetically I like them, I find them harder for me to engage in with reading. That's not always the case, but that deck is amazing and it's beautiful and I love it. but I just couldn't, it wasn't meant for me. And so I passed it on to someone who it is meant for, and it's just amazing, and they love it. And and I think that that's a wonderful thing to be able to do. And so this one didn't jive with her, but it's for me. So anyway, that we're looking at for February. Again, I don't know the rest of them when I'm going to work on them. I know that I will be working with Sacred Creators Oracle probably all year long. At least that's what I'm hoping. And diving into the book with that. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work with that. I haven't figured it all out yet. But and then the next one is, this one's new to my collection. It's the II Onyx Travel Edition. And I'm just going to show you guys because I haven't put this on yet. But this is standard tarot size. It's a tiny bit, it's just ever so slightly wider. And then it's a good bit shorter than a standard tarot deck. But it's a great size. And it's gilded. But I haven't worked with it yet, so I'm not sure how this is going to kind of come into play for me, but I am looking to explore it this year for sure. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. All right, the next one that I will probably be working with, and again, not sure how, will be the Spolia Tarot. And I think I've mentioned this before, so sorry if I'm repeating myself. Why is it not focusing? When I got this deck, this is the first edition. When I got this deck, I used it a lot, and I still want to use it a lot, but I've kind of, Muse has kind of taken over my obsession at the moment. But this deck, when I got it, it made me really, like I said, I think I've said this in another video, but it made me question why I have any other deck. Why do I want any other deck or need any other deck? And I can work with this for the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. And, you know, like I said before, of course I'm not going to get rid of it. My other decks, I am looking to pare down this year, but I really want to give everyone a fair chance. So that's kind of the point of working with just a few this year. And Spolia will definitely be on that because I don't feel like I'm not wanting to put it away. So, and then another new one, this is the last one, is the Black Lilly Tarot. The colors just aren't picking up. It might be because I had the curtain open. It may just be too flooded with light, but you guys have probably seen all these decks anyway. But it's just a neat little deck, and I am excited to see how it plays out and what it has to tell me and our relationship together. So, and it's gorgeous, very feminine, but feels oddly balanced. I don't know. So those are the decks that I am looking forward to really connecting with, kind of diving deep this year and seeing what happens, seeing how it goes. And then, because I have too many decks that, I don't know, it's not that I have too many decks. I have a lot of decks, and I know that they serve their purpose, and I want to keep a lot of them, but some of them I will probably move on this year. The thing is that when I have them all out, I feel overwhelmed by them. And, excuse me, and I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I really want to focus and kind of narrow in a little bit. The other ones, I know that if I need them, or if a certain client, I feel drawn to read a certain deck for a certain client, I will, of course, listen to that. But knowing that I really want to get to know certain ones well, this is what I'm going to work with, and try to limit my palette so that I don't become so overwhelmed by all my decks. Okay, that's it. I will see you for the next one. Thanks for hanging in there.